And now we go again to Winchester, England, where we will meet our very, very good friend, Jetteen. Jetteen is Chinese from Guangzhou, and she lives in England now for many years with her family. She is so deep in her thinking, so interesting conversation about culture and how to bring East and West together, how to live life with AI in educating her family. Very deep conversation, very interesting insights. Please come and enjoy the discussion, chat with Jetteen in Winchester, England. Let's go. Perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
oh, well, we're ready.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Very.
Jetteen, how are you?
Hello. Hello, Louis.
How are you? Well, this is my friend Jetteen. We are now at Winchester, England, which is very close to where she lives, and okay, I happen to be again in this nice town in the south of England, south of London. So, Jetteen, how is Jetteen today?
I'm very good. I would like to thank you for inviting me here because you always show me some of your podcasts and before that you have your channels about your poetry, and then it's just I feel very honored to be here to talk to you.
Oh, the honor is mine. The
And
honor is mine.
yeah, it's just to have another kind of like discussion. I know we always have very meaningful discussion. I think this opportunity is great for us to share our thoughts
Thank
with
you.
the audience.
Thank you. Yes, we always discuss so many things, and so lively and
Exactly.
and in such a rich way. So yes, I appreciate your time today. Thank you. So Jetteen, for the audience, of course, I know Jetteen very well for many years, but okay, for the audience, imagine many people there don't know really who you are, and so give us a bit of a description of you, your origins, who you are, a little bit of your progression in life.
Yeah, so I'm Jettteen. So very interesting fact for my name, because I think maybe in the whole world there's only just one person spell my name the same way that I spelled. That's myself, because I created my name, which is actually the pronunciation of my Chinese name. If I have the spelling of my Chinese name in Pinyin, nobody really know how to pronounce it. So that's why I kind of like generate my name as Jetteen. So that actually I'm from China. I was born in Guangzhou, a beautiful green city.
Very green.
Very green.
Yeah.
I don't even I didn't really realize that winter can be gray until I moved to live in Shanghai. That is when I was 20 years old. So Guangzhou is a beautiful flower city, all year round green and very hot, very humid. But during the winter, it got 2 weeks very humid, and then at that time, I just feel like, oh, very, very cold. For that exception, Guangzhou is my birthplace. It's the place that nurture me, and I feel like I'm deeply inside. I'm a Cantonese. I'm from Guangzhou, and I will be forever Chinese from that sense, because for that early 20 years, it's just give me so much more friendship, family, all sorts of value, all sorts of culture that is originated in Guangzhou. And then after I finished my university, I took a decision with some help with the family and friends. I moved to Shanghai. So starting working in Lloyd Register. I'm still working there 21 years later. So I work in Shanghai, and then there I met, all sorts of friends, colleagues, and that we maintained the same friendship for years, even after I moved to the UK. So the reason I moved to UK is because I met my husband there.
And Jettteen, sorry, and the reason you moved to Shanghai? Just
re-
before, we will go to the UK later, but...
Yeah, well, I would say it is a personal, sort of like a personal growth, or the stage that I feel like it's time for me to leave home. Because for the Chinese, very, very sort of like a traditional thinking is that you will leave home when you get married. But I always classify myself, or classified by my family members, that I'm a very independent person, because, well, also I'm an only child. So in a Chinese kind of like family, for my generation, a lot of people, they are only child, they're quite independent, or sometimes it's the opposite, they're quite reliant on the families. So for me, I feel like I'm a very independent person to start with. And then I feel that that's the opportunity for me to get away from my family for greater good of myself. Also, there is a reason, I think deep down, I am having a sense of pressure from the family. Because also I'm as I say, I'm an only child, that I got parents or friends or like uncles or aunties always compare me with my, not sibling, cousins. So my father is the youngest in his family, and my mother is the oldest. So I always told that I need to look up to my older cousins and then be a better self. And then I need to be matching their achievement. And then my father's family is a kind of like academic type of family. So they are really high achievers. And then for me, for my mother's family, I'm the biggest among our cousins. And then I need to set a good example for them. So subconsciously, I got really high expectation of myself as a middle within a bigger family. I just like, this pressure is just never go away. But none of them actually bold enough to go out of the city, go somewhere else to start their life by themselves after university. I say, maybe it is the way for me to show that I am different and I'm better than them in a way.
Wow.
So that's what I did. And if you go to China, nowadays a lot of people, even they get married, they live with their parents. I know sometimes it's about money, that you can't, for example, like buy a house in the city. You're forced to live with your parents, in-law even, have the benefit of them to take care of you and your children. But I don't like that. I like my personal space. I like to have my wings, and that's actually the freedom that I gain. And then I just like, okay, that's an opportunity. Lloyd Register had a position in Shanghai office as a business development support person, and then that is a creation, a job creation, and then I just got a job, and then I fly to Shanghai. My mom and dad stay with me a week in my apartment, and then off they go, and then I start my adult life. Yeah, in a Chinese way, it's just like quite dramatic, but that is it for me. Yeah, so I spent like five years in Shanghai, and during that time, as I say, I met my husband, and then 2010.
A great person, by the way.
Thank you.
I must say.
Well, I hope, I'm sure I'm still married with him. So, have 2 children. So yeah, 2010, the company said, oh, he needs to go back to UK. So I quit my job in Lloyd Register in Shanghai, and then I fly to UK, have my own visa. Again, I just like I don't need to get married to come to UK, because actually for my experience, for my income, whatever, I applied a UK visa, and then it is not job independent, or it is not family relationship independent. I just come here. It's another big risk for me, because there's no job waiting for me there. At the time, I'm not married with my husband at the time, but it is just at that stage, I think our relationship is committed to a certain level that I feel like, okay, I'll just take this risk to come to UK. I came here 3 months later, and then I'm glad. Probably it's because I work well in a workplace that Lloyd Register senior managers in there saying that, can you come back to join LR? And then I joined LR again. So that's it. I stay in the same company, but at the same time we kind of like I get married and moved from London to Southampton 2012, and then now till now. I think that's my kind of like a journey from my hometown, and then Shanghai, and then UK.
Nice journey. Yeah.
What do you think? Is it a risky? I don't think I'm a risky kind of like a taking person, but
you took risks.
I took huge risk. I think a lot of my friends, they just like stay put. They don't really want to move away from the safety of family or the comfort of their environment. But I think
this moves, this several moves. Okay, you talk about risks. Really? I mean, do you think there are risks, or did you really feel when you took these moves that it was risky, or in what way risky?
I think it is about, as I say, out of your comfort environment. Once you settle down in an area, when you take that decision without knowing what is the direction of your next step, that is the risk that you need to kind of like manage and balance in your head. But at the same time, for me, I think I am just trying to embrace it, more or less, kind of like embrace it and see where it goes. And then at the back of my head, I also feel like I'm capable to do these choices, to make these choices without any serious consequences. So I think it's a kind of like a balance, how you take those risks, but at the same time, it did feel many how to say it did feel quite important for me to think that you need to get to the new place, but you will need to leave a lot of things behind. So there's kind of like a sacrifice as well. So that felt very important, that you need to sacrifice something to move on to another stage of your life.
To grow in a different direction.
Yeah, to grow, but at the same time, opportunity, different opportunity. Until you explore them, you don't know. If you just stay put, you don't know.
Thank you. I was looking for the word opportunity to come.
Okay.
So I'm happy that it came.
Yeah.
As I see it, because I know your journey. It's a journey of opportunity, of seeking seeking opportunities. Sometimes we talk about risk so much, and actually, okay, I don't say risks are not there, but it's the focus on the opportunity, understanding, acknowledging the what you need to deal with. Well, anyway, that's how I see that. I think that reflects on your journey as well. Very interesting. I keep saying on some podcasts I interview people that I know well, but I always learn something new. I just did with you, so I really enjoy these discussions. I'm learning more about people I know so well. So Jettteen, you're a person now. The audience knows that you are Chinese, but you have this strong connection then now into UK with your families. Okay, maybe it's mixed hybrid family. So maybe you have a sense of okay, let's talk about human beings. Do you see some commonalities, that something that you can describe as generic as what humanity is in the generic terms? Now you have exposure to different cultures. What is your view on humanity?
I think the definition is, if you say fundamentally, it's quite similar. Because I kind of like, I also look it up, and there's interesting finding that I got like from the Western world. We're talking about the 7 scenes, and then from the from Chinese point of view, we also have similar definition. So if you talk about the 7 scene, like the pride, envy, gluttony, greed, lust, sloth, and wrath, and then in Chinese we have what the expression is like. We have 7 emotions, and then 6 sensation, pleasure that we crave. So this is again very common, like happiness, anger, sadness, fear, love, hatred, desire. And then for the sensory craving, that we crave something very beautiful looking. We crave something really nice to hear. We crave something smell nice, taste nice, touch. We crave the texture of touch. And then also we crave like same ideology, people with same ideal. So that is a Chinese philosophy about what actually make you a human being instead of an animal or other living things, or how you tell difference between human and technology. For example, like we all process data, we all thinking, but whether we got the emotion in, and how actually we control it, and how actually we behave it, and how actually even we know something is not good, we still do it. Contradiction, compulsiveness, all this is attribute to what humans about. So I think it is also, as I say, can be quite individual, and it can be, like you said, related to culture as a collective behavior. So I guess humanity to me is something that, what tells you different from other species and other non-living things, and make us kind of like quite unique in the world.
And now knowing, which another one of my learning today already, knowing this Chinese way of looking at things. You said that you feel this is you. You said at the beginning of the podcast that you feel you are really, your roots are Guangzhou. You feel that in you. Are you living to those values while being in England?
I think so. I think so, because a lot of times when I see things, I will still originate myself back to that thinking process, how we kind of like value friendship, how we value family connection, how actually I should behave in a work environment. There are certain qualities that never change. That is something that I grow up with, right? Like I said, because I'm only child, when I have friendship, I will view the friendship as much a deeper level, because I never understand sibling love, you know. So there's a that is the sense that I don't understand something that in a Western world that you talk about sibling, you got that connection. I don't. So when I see friendship, especially my generation in China, we see our friendships much tighter. That sense to replace the lack of sibling love. So for me, I would be, if I know someone that I like, I speak the same language, I think the friendship run deep down, kind of like deeper than what you say. Okay, you just chat up somebody on the street, or even you know somebody for years but not really know them. You know what I mean? So I just feel that this is kind of like how the culture or where I come from defined how I behave in that specific situation. And also like at work, I don't need to mention Chinese, they really work really hard. But for me,
Well, it's good that you mention it, because I think many people have different ideas, but Chinese in general work very hard.
In general, yeah, okay, everything in general.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good to say that.
Yeah,
it's good to say that. Yeah.
So I do have that sense, because I grew up in a family that my mom worked really hard. My father worked really hard. They all really kind of like into devoting themselves and try to be perfect for whatever they are doing. So that also shaped myself, that I try to kind of like trying to do my best. I'll give it a go. I'm not kind of like super intelligent or academically superb, but I'm probably like 10% top of the class, because it's a combination of hard work and also just willing and trying to do things better. And then I think that kind of like give me the drive, the personal drive to achieve. So this is something that defined me from my past.
From your
Chinese
roots.
Chinese roots. And then I can see a lot of my elder examples. They do work really hard. Start with, we are not saying that they are work hard in the sense to get money return. It is it's just a sense of, it's like a common sense for them. You should do that because it's the right thing to do. So yeah, so I would say definitely the culture kind of like shaped me, what I should do, how I should do it, what is right, what is wrong. Still these days.
And do you ever find any, okay, I will say conflict, but I don't mean really conflict, but how do you merge that culture when you're working in a culture and which is very different? I think for people like us that we have experienced East and West.
Yeah.
It's very interesting when I came back from being like 14, 15 years in the East continuously. When I came back to the West, came to England, and my family is Spanish. And a very short story. This podcast is about Jettteen. Basically, I told my family I felt like coming back home, And then my family said, what are you talking about? You're in England. England and Spain are very different, and they are very different in many ways. Well, I said to my family, it is the West. It is incredible.
Exactly.
Okay, they don't know because they haven't. It's incredible how the East and the West are truly different, but also they have their own identity. So how are you merging the good thing about being East person that you exhibit and you want to put into practice and you value as high, having to work in the West?
I think it started from my university study, I guess, because that's another kind of like an outcome of my rebellion youth that I want to
Rebellion nature.
Want to be better than others, reach the expectation of my family without actually work ourselves to the ground, work myself to the ground. Is I decided I learn English at a university, because none of my family, none of my cousins, they major in English. They major in like chemistry, physics, and they are teachers and professors and whatever. I was just like, no, I can't compete with them in this area. I might as well just explore a new territory that I will be best so far. And then I say I will learn English, and then and I did, and then actually one of the reasons that I landed a job in Lloyd Register, because Lloyd Register in Shanghai, they are there as a foreign company, so I think that is actually quite good. You open yourself up to a new world, right? As you say, take that opportunity, and actually that opportunity ended up with an open door for you, and then I start working in that environment. Actually, it's very a multicultural environment. So we got a lot of British, especially there. But at the same time, I landed in Shanghai. Shanghai people consider I'm the outsider as well. So I'm in an environment, even within China, there's different multicultural. It's just you will be fascinated to see, actually, I'm not classified as them in the Shanghai office by the Shanghai colleagues. So it threw me into that environment of you need to start thinking how actually you need to keep up your value, your own belief from your birthplace, where you come from, but at the same time you need to see how other culture, how other people behave in that setting, in the same setting, react to the same thing. And then it's fascinating to learn. Actually, you will need to, of course, be your truth self, but at the same time, sometimes you need to learn compromise. You need to understand something maybe it's not very important at the end of the day, that you will let go some of the principle that is not important. You uphold those, the most important thing. You don't need to compromise those. And then my thought that I survive all this kind of like different environment, and then I thrive by throwing myself into new unknown, is I just observe people. I will see how they behave, and I'll try to understand why they behave like this, and where's it come from, where that root come from. I know my root, that's why I behave like this. And then they behave different way, that's because of something. So as soon as you realize that everybody have their own root of their behavior, and sometimes it's also understanding what triggered they behave like that. Maybe they have a bad day, maybe they come back to from the holiday still high in emotion, maybe. So all sorts of reasons, right? So, and then you will, I think, as a human being, that's very important, is to understand others, and then you need to set a boundary. I respect some kind of set up that boundary, saying that I will respect this behavior within the boundary. And then if other people show the same respect, and then you will have a good kind of like a understanding, mutual understanding, and then you will actually work well together. So that's how I see, for example, like conflicts, whatever, between different culture and in different workplace. And then I think I would just need to understand why it happens like that, and then not compromise my own value. I will choose a proper call to action. That's how I take it. It's still a lot of things happen. Nowadays, I will use my Chinese hat, and then I'll laugh about it, and then but I understand why it happens like this.
The Chinese hat.
Yeah. As I say, I'm British now, but deep down I would say I'm a Chinese person. That's how I said to my daughter as well. They identify themselves as English. That's of course because they grow up here. But even I spent more than half of my life in the UK. I still feel like I'm a very typical Cantonese from Guangzhou.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you, Jettteen. Thank you. It's nice to hear that people can keep their roots and live to their roots wherever you are, and live to it. Very nice. I think you already gave some examples, but if you want to think about one or two values that you appreciate the most, what could that be?
I would say, of course, we're all trying to seek positive words. That's what I want to mention in Chinese. What we want is actually a balance. So for me, the best description of how actually how I value most is to have a balance of everything. Not go extreme to say, oh, honesty is good, or love is good. We all need to have a balance. One example is like how I kind of like talk to my daughters. They said, oh, well, sometimes they have a tantrum. They say, oh, you don't love me. But that's a hit of argument, right? So they will do like that. They are just little. They say, you don't love me. And then, of course, when they are good, it is, oh, I love you so much. So that's what I said. How you define that love is a balance. So as a parent, I was just like, okay, I love you nevertheless, even when you're naughty. But that is the balance that I need to be enact my mother figure, and then I just like need to make sure they are loved in a way that is right. So not overly kind of like say yes to my children because I love them. Sometimes that is the balance. It's the tipping point that you need to make that decision yourself. So I that's my point. So I promote kind of like self-fulfillment, achievement, drive, but at some point I will question as well, where's the balance? You can't always kind of like devote yourself to something, but sometimes you need to reserve those energy for yourself or for someone that you care. I think everywhere you're talking about is a balance. It's a balance act. So that is what I think I value the most. Not overly too much of something. You have your principle, that's great, and then you just need to find that balance point. Is the yin and yang, right? The golden mean, what we said. So it's the balance.
Wow. Very interesting. Very, 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 very East culture also. I think one thing I wish on this podcast people can, by bringing many people from East and West, I'm very fortunate to have friends from both sides. I just want to also, hopefully people start listening to these different ways of living, but finding some also commonality on the good, because we all are very good. So thank you, Jettteen, for that. Thank you. You said something just before I move into the AI part of the conversation. I just want to ask you one more question that maybe it's a bit controversial, but it's so interesting when you mentioned before on what Chinese people, they're craving that you have, and the one you mentioned about same or similar ideology.
Yes.
Can you? What does it mean? It means you will be closer to people that have think exactly like you, or
That's so. If you're talking that kind of like a sensory pleasure craving, so that is eventually it up to the level of your thinking, how you think, and how you crave that you think the same thing as somebody. That's actually how human, they don't like to be an individual. They like to socialize. They like to form a community. The community, the sense of community is how actually they share similar or same ideology. So that actually drive you, for example, why these people go to the beach to pick up rubbish. And why, like myself now, go to the park Saturday and Sunday morning to do running with a group of people, and I volunteer. They are the same ideology, and then you're attracted to those people, and that is something that gives you sense of achievement or satisfaction or comfort or pleasure. And that is very important for human being. You don't see a bunch of dogs, they would like to kind of like, I have that need to socialize, so I make it happen, right? But human, we are. Like, just like you appreciate music, that's very individual, right? So you will try to gather all those music that you like, you appreciate that. And then how actually it become something bigger than yourself is your idea of the music. That's why we say like Taylor Swift have the Swifties. They gather together, they share the same ideal, they share the ideal of the singers, and they share the ideal of her song. And then you agree with that, and then you form a community. And that's very human only behavior, I would say. So that is very, I think, very key for us being us.
Wow, beautifully explained. Very interesting. After this podcast, I think I need to study more about that sensing part of it. I didn't know about that in Chinese culture. This is new to me. Super interesting. it will help me a lot now that I'm living in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I find it very
Please
good,
do.
actually. It's a great place. Oh, thank you, Jetteen. Thank you very much. Thank you. So let's now move into our last discussion today, which is about our life with artificial intelligence. So basically, generically, I always ask very high-level question. So what is your take on living life with artificial intelligence?
So for us, human being, I would say we all have individually human intelligence, right? And then collectively we call it like culture, norm, tradition, whatever. And then throughout the year we advance enough, and then we start to have technology coming through, and then it advanced in this level, like what we called artificial intelligence, that we have machines that can process data like what we would like to do, but much faster, much more efficient. They can do research, they can create results much faster than we can, because there's algorithm or whatever formulas behind it. I think they kind of like definitely facilitate our daily life even. I feel fascinated how it works in the background, because just one example, I look at iPad or my phone for something, and then I have a question in my head. Okay, so for example, like 2 weeks ago, I was in Florida, Disney, and then I looking in an app, Epcot, the theme park in Disney, and then I looking at, oh right, okay, so these are the attraction in the app that show me, and I have a question in my head. When Epcot opened today, I closed the app, I opened the browser, and then I say how. Oh, sorry, I say when. And it popped the exact question in my head in the search engine. To me, that is a suggested question. So no doubt it's AI behind to kind of like gather all those information and then think the same way as me, fascinatingly. Generate that question for me. That is, for me at that moment, I think it's amazing, and I think it's extremely convenient, because I don't need to type the whole question by myself, and you get the answer for me as well. So great. So I think that is how advanced technology is with our daily life, even without our overthinking everything. They just pop those suggested answer or suggested question and answer for us. So I have, again, a balanced view and a neutral idea towards the concept. Of course, it's very convenient for us, but at the same time, I just feel like, why you know my thought? Why? That's a question. Why you know exactly what I think in my head? And then there's no doubt, I explained to other people as well, there was a conversation about whether our phone and our iPads listening to us. They do, I think. They do.
I think so, yeah.
They do, passively.
Yeah.
But then actually they have all this learning of us. And when we, again, if I try to pop a question in the search engine now, if I start a sentence, it will be probably, I would say, 75% correct. Is something around the subjects that I would like to search. So this is something also quite terrifying. because
why? What is the terrifying aspect?
the aspect is about, are we having any private thoughts in the future, or it will be all wide and open for not someone but something to explore. And then whether that someone or something in the background will keep that secret for me. That is
privacy.
Privacy, yes. So that is something that concerns me a lot. Not necessarily how convenient that it provides, but it's where's the boundary. Again, the boundary is very important for me. About whether I need to keep something really in my head from now on, even though probably not, because like my example I gave,
because everything is there.
Yeah, so, exactly. The question is popped.
So
controversial for me. A bit.
And being a mother, having young children, do you see some impact on the way they live, or?
Well, technology-wise, I would say definitely, because I think this younger generation, I'm talking about my daughters, 10 years old and 8 years old. They are technologically much more advanced, same age as when I was a little girl. But some of their life skill, whatever, is much lower than the time that I was a girl. I think that is because it's the technology just simply take over a lot of things, so that they know actually they're more mature in some way and more naive in other way because of that. It's not right or wrong. It's just, it is.
Just the way it's,
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I guess they feel very comfortable with it because this
Exactly.
is how they're born.
Yeah. And then they're just like, if they have a touch screen, they figure out how to use it like a minute. And the other day, I was just driving a car that I have 2 years, and I didn't really pay attention to it, how to just like even simple things like change the clock in the dashboard. I thought the car would be advanced enough to do that itself. Okay, so I didn't think about it, but the season change, right? Summertime and the normal time, and then the other day I was just like, the clock changed, and then my older daughter said, I did it. I did it the other day. I said, how do you know? It's just like you just press this and this and this. I said, okay, just lesson learned, because they're just so savvy. You give them a device and they figure out very immediately.
It's like my feeling. They live in partnership with the technology.
Yeah.
This is part of life.
Yeah, so they explore. Each of them, they have a tablet. They explore how things work. I only set a kind of like time limit and parental those sort of limit for them, so that I can control their time and where they access. But they can figure everything else by themselves. That is something that technology kind of like bring to the next generation, I guess. It's kind of like so different. The landscape is totally, completely different.
Yeah, and I wonder, I mean, do you have a view on what aspect of humanity or what values we might be trading off back into technology?
I think it is. I don't want to kind of like impose my personal view on this as kind of like a general, what it does to kind of like a general population. But I do feel, for example, I would expect my children be more how to say resilient towards something that is through, for example, like when I grow up, I need to do workout, I need to do homework. I try to perfect myself, right? That a lot of things that I will have to do by myself to be better. But then now with technology, my children just like, okay, okay, finish. Handwriting, not so important anymore because I'm just typing. So like, no, you do need to. You do need to do writing. You do need to spell. No, if I spell wrong, the machine is going to correct me. Is it correct? Is it correct? So there's a lot of things because of the technology. They sort of like, they think it's not very important anymore. For some of the basic skills, basic life skills, the determination of trying to do things perfectly. I'm sorry to use perfectly, but that's who I am. Yes. Yeah, so it just bugged me a little bit that they kind of like, because of the facility, because of the convenience, they may not think this is necessary. Everything's come very easily, very quickly. So
new world.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is on us, and it will evolve even more. It's just, I think it's just AI is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It will evolve.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you very, very interestingly, that earlier this week I saw a news. I don't know if it's correct or not. It said an AI company invested $500,000 or pounds in a robot. So in the robot, they give the robot hundreds and thousands of images of animals, and then also associate some of those animals with emotions. For example, like kittens and puppies with love, and then scary animals, scared. Okay, so they program this AI robot with all the knowledge, all the common reaction of what you should behave when you are in front of a certain animal. And then after that program, they put the robot in front of a lion. And then, can you guess what happened?
Follows the script, I guess.
Have you ever guessed what exactly happened? No? So basically, it starts to compute and it figures out the emotion that he or she or it need to have is scared or fear.
As per the script.
As per the script. And then it populates this result for more time. And then the reaction is completely freaked out. So by freeze, totally break down, that machine break down in front of the lion, cannot compute anymore because it's in deeply fear. And then the company retrieve that robot. The robot see any four-legged animals and start to say, feared, scared. And it can't cope anymore. And then the company had to wipe the memory. Not happen, because as soon as he's put back to a dog or whatever four-legged animal, it revives itself. They had to strip out their CPU and reprogram the whole thing.
Whoa. All the internals needed to be destroyed.
So that is very interesting, and also tell me something that maybe is the difference between AI robot and human, is that human, you have all those irrational emotions, but it still have the rational part that regulate us. So it's that balance I said about. So you make that, it's an individual human being or collectively, you make certain decision, even you got all those evidence, you can still make some decision. But for AI, whether that decision is based on learning only and without any consideration to override some of the totally totally invalid facts or reasoning.
Yeah.
So that is very important for us to think about. And if AI develop in a certain stage that it starts to behave like really humans do, it will be again quite interesting or quite scary.
Thank you, Jetteen. Yes, thank you. We could discuss this for another 3 hours, I guess. So thank you very much. Okay. So this is the coming to the end of our podcast.
Okay.
And I will ask you the question that the previous person asked me to ask, and it goes as follows. Are you ready?
Okay.
So, tell me about a moment of self-reflection that changed the way you think or behave.
Yeah, I think it is the moment. Probably I hear my father told me that my mother had cancer. I think that is the moment really stuck in my memory, I think. And that is also something that I reflect a lot during the year that I lost her eventually. Because when you're thinking about family or relations, you will always think, oh, they will be here. Eventually you'll have time. You'll have time to share that, and you will be able to do something with it. And then at that moment, I just like, okay, actually, I don't have those time anymore. Very kind of, from a personal point of view, I never say I love you to my parents, believe it or not. I never. And that is the moment. I never really truly hug them. Because, the Chinese way is kind of like quite not that kind of like a cuddle type of relations. And it's really deep down, the love is just so much, but we not say it. We decided not say it. So that moment for me, I was just like, if I have children, if I have lover, I'll need to say this. I really need to express myself, because what is the cost for doing that? What is the cost to tell people you care about, that you care about them, that you love them? And what is the cost to give people a hug when you need to have a hug, and then they remember that you really kind of like with them? So that's why now if I have opportunity, I'll just tell my daughters I love them. My husband, I'm not saying I love people for random people, but yeah,
Yeah,
you just
sure.
need to express that
Mm-hmm.
much more in a way that you will have no regret
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
eventually.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you, Jettteen. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you for today's reflections and all the learning you have given me today.
Okay.
Very spectacular.
Yeah, I hope it's helpful.
It's spectacular for me. Yes, it was very, very interesting. Thank you. So, Jettteen, think about the question you want me to ask
Oh gosh.
the
Okay.
next guest, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's again back to my point about balance.
Mm-hmm.
How we find the balance of humanity and AI going forward with this kind of like scary world out there. How we find that balance?
Great question. Very good question. Right now, I don't know who the next one is,
Okay.
but right now, but anyway, good. That's the question. Thank you very much. 谢谢. Thank you, Jetteen.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I'll see you again soon, I hope, for sure. And in the meantime, we'll have a great time in Winchester with your family, with everybody else. And thank you very much for watching this episode. And I will see everybody. Everybody subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you. And I will see you next time. Goodbye from Winchester, England. Goodbye.
Bye. Okay.
Wow, Jetteen.
Wow.
That was 1 hour.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
Good.
Fantastic. I enjoy it a lot. Wow, so good. Thank you so much for participating and for everything. Given this. Wow, I'm so impressed with this Chinese culture sense.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, I never heard about this.
It is.
So interesting.
It is something I guess you will find very different.